stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll now come to order.
Thank you. Let's see. First up are announcements. First announcement I had was about the new account numbers and statements. I'll have a 1-minute video coming out soon, once I have a minute or two to do that, that goes over that so it's not confusing, which we've had a few people call, say that the letters and the statements were slightly confusing, so I apologize for that. So we'll have that all explained in the daily report and a video that goes out very shortly. Next is the December assessments. That statement, the December statement was mailed out late. It seems to be compounded by the amount of holiday mail that's going through too, because I've heard that some people have just received their statement a couple days ago. So wanted to clarify that there's not going to be any kind of late payments for that as long as that's received in December. So we wanted to make sure that, can't pay that in March and be like, well, there's no late statements. Like, well, that's a little bit out of the scope of not being late. And then January dues, just to reiterate that dues go up on January 1st. We had that large packet went out with all the information on that. So the Master Association goes up to $227. The Free Cost Center goes up $1 to $68. And then the Springdales go up based on their plan. Next is UPS deliveries. We'll have the pictures in tomorrow's daily report, but UPS is, they put a pod up at the summit and they're using 2 different golf carts to drive slowly or slower through our community and not have the big brown box trucks go everywhere. So they'll have one big box truck go up there and deliver all the packages that are going to be going out that day. And then they've got a couple guys in the golf carts that are tooling around and delivering the packages in that manner. And then one that I had forgotten to put on here is that the inspectors of election will be opening up all the CC&R change ballots on Saturday. So if you want to come down for a great time, it starts at 9 a.m. at RCN room 3. We always love company, somebody else to talk to while they're counting things. So that'll be, I'm sure, all day. And then my monthly reminder to please slow down. Also, to obey those stop signs. The police will be in here and you will receive a ticket for blowing through a stop sign. They are to stop, not to roll through or go faster. Then it's 30 miles on the circle, 25 on the side streets, and 15 miles per hour in the parking lot. And with that, we'll go to homeowner input. As a reminder, it's limited to 3 minutes per homeowner and only 1 request to speak form may be submitted per homeowner. There'll be no sharing or passing of time to another person. Homeowner input may be held for a maximum period of 30 minutes before the board meeting begins to allow the board to proceed with the business portion of the meeting. This portion of the meeting is limited to board participation only. Residents are welcome and encouraged to stay for the full meeting to witness the business of the corporation taking place by your governing agents. And the first speaker is Lynette Smilak.
About the microphone. I have 2 things. The trails, is there a way to help eliminate some of the erosion? I was on Sea Trail, and there's some pretty deep lines of erosion. The Sea Trail, the other side of 4 Seasons. And B Trail, there's only 1 doggy pot. Could we get more? The entrance to B Trail, by the new bridge, the newer bridge, there's no doggy pot there, and there needs to be. And then when it crosses 4 Seasons on the other side, no doggy pots. A and C have lots of doggy pots. That is if someone has put bags in them. that's also been an issue lately.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lynette. Next is Pat Quaid.
Jerry? Yeah, I'm not sure if you guys can hear me, but two things. I'm just kind of curious of who, the contractors we have in here, who takes care of them and makes sure that they're providing us, this, you know, the right kind of, let's say the roof we have up here, that, you know, who's the one that's basically making sure the contractor's going by the contract, you know, contract to be right. And another thing is there Four Seasons? I guess no one answered yet. But anyway, the Four Seasons, do we have anybody at all, Azon or something like that for the city council? Like trying to help out with the down there by the freeway, it's a mess. It's like, you know, I'm not talking about the homeless or anything. I'm just talking about the paper and the crap that's down there. Literally, you walk underneath. I walked over to the Denny's, and there's stuff underneath the freeway that looks like somebody, you know, they left. That's where they use the restroom and stuff like that and everything else. And then Banning says, no, you gotta go talk to Beaumont. Beaumont says, you gotta go talk to Banning. And they both, and then now they're telling me, you gotta get a hold of Caltrans. You know, but I just feel that we need to have someone, you know, to, okay.
Thanks, Pat. Next is Donna Lewis.
Good afternoon, I'm Donna Lewis, 1554 Bighorn, and just wanted to give a quick little neighborhood watch update from our meeting yesterday. We had a really good meeting. We had the CHP in here, and we're promoting our Chips for Kids drive right now. It goes through December 22nd, and you can bring, if you haven't already done the Wish from the Tree, you can still participate and bring an unwrapped toy or whatever for age 0 to 12. And the CHP, we've always been very successful. We have just wonderful residents here who love to participate in these programs. And the CHP did say that all of the gifts, all the toys that are purchased do stay local, that they are given to local charities such as Carol's Kitchen, which a lot of residents here support as well, Carol's Kitchen and other charities. So they will stay in the Beaumont, Cherry Valley, Pass area, and so they will support all those families that need that. They also gave us a little update on some of the projects going on, and one that's going to be another major one is going to be starting in January or February, is going to be on the 10 freeway between here and Palm Springs. So they are going to be replacing sections of the 10 freeway with the concrete. The concrete is supposed to last like 30 years without much maintenance or anything. So that's going to be going on, so please be patient, not only in here within our gates, but also as you're driving out. I noticed the other day with Christmas and everything that Highland Springs was backed up pretty good. Everybody's out doing their shopping even on weekdays. So be patient, be safe out there, both inside and outside our gates, as well as packages. Been seeing a little bit on Nextdoor about missing packages. Last week I had a delivery at my home, and they were just small items, envelopes, and there was 3 of them. And I look at them and I noticed all of a sudden that I was home when they delivered, so I got them right away. And the third one wasn't for me. Okay, I live on Bighorn, and it was for Whitney Peak, which is a few blocks away. So I immediately got in my car to deliver the package down there. And it was great because the Amazon driver was frantic looking for that package, wondering what she did with it. So the very next day, my next door neighbor delivered a package to me that was delivered to his home that belonged to me. So just be real careful out there with packages. Make sure if there is something at your door that you're getting it right away. Make sure that it's for you. And if it's not, I'm sure your neighbor would appreciate it if you delivered it as soon as possible, but let the lodge know, bring it down here. So anyway, and we just want to wish all of our residents a Merry Christmas and a healthy and safe New Year.
Thank you, Donna. And our last speaker is Diane Klein.
Hi, actually,
actually am not here to address everybody. I just have some questions for the committee.
Can't hear you.
I just have a few questions for the committee. I just recently purchased solar for my house, and they've scheduled an installation, the city approved it, etc. And I was just informed this morning that I had to get approval by the committee, which the solar company never told me that I needed approval. They said, well, it was a state law that you can put solar on your house. Now I'm kind of up a creek. I don't know what to do. I went over and submitted an application, but they're going to install in 10 days. What do I do? Help.
Talk to that gentleman right there.
Give me a call. I chair that committee. Give me a call after the meeting.
Okay, let's take a still look at the plans over there.
Yeah, everything still needs to be turned in there by next Monday at noon.
Okay.
But give me a call after the meeting and I'll walk you through it, okay?
Thanks so much.
And I've got your number as well, so we'll definitely
Thank
help.
you.
Of course.
Thank you, everybody.
Actually, Eric, before we leave this particular section, Pat had a bunch of questions, and there are questions I think that you could easily answer for him afterwards. Would you do that, please?
Oh, of course. And with that, that's all for homeowner input. So we'll move to the consent calendar. The purpose of the consent calendar is to make a single motion to approve all included items. If for a particular reason an item needs to be discussed or pulled from the consent calendar, then a call to approve that item should be made by a board member. In the consent calendar are the secretary's reports or minutes from November 12th and 14th, several different bond releases. There's no CD or investment plan. There's a new club application, and then 10 different party applications starting from December 12th all the way through November 5th of 2020.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent calendar.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent calendar. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Next is a report on the executive session or action taken between meetings. There was an executive session held this morning. The board reviewed delinquencies, lien or foreclosure actions, member hearings, reviewed contracts, legal issues, and personnel items. Next is the committee reports. First is ad hoc off-leash area. And next would be the ad hoc power out.
The Great Ad Hoc Power Out Committee is finishing their report. It'll be presented to the Emergency Preparedness Committee at their January meeting, which will be on the 21st. Prior to that, an initial report will be sent out to all of the committee members that were on the Ad Hoc Power Out Committee for their review. And if anybody else is interested, we're glad to have them, participate too. Thank you.
Thanks, Randy. Next is the architectural committee. Steve.
Once again, our numbers are posted up there. We had no new applications that were denied, a couple addendums that were denied, but in both of those situations, it was that they were missing the information. And without the information, of course, we don't know what we're approving. And so we're requesting that anybody that turns in any kind of request, follow through, make sure you have all the information. We're in the process of inserting a new piece in that package, which is a checklist that will be used both for the management company as they're receiving those and the homeowners as they're submitting them. And the question that came up earlier this morning, and I'll work with that homeowner, whenever you make a change on the outside of your home, regardless of whatever it is, landscaping, changing the color of the house, adding a shed or an outbuilding, it does come through our committee. Anybody on our committee will be only too happy to walk you through the process, to help you in any way we can. The articles that go out in the breeze has my contact information. We don't want anybody to be blindsided because they weren't aware of what's going on. We are looking for a couple of new members. We've had a couple of members who have served out very diligently over the last 2-3 years, and they're ready to move on to something different. So if you're at all interested in learning and knowing who your neighbors are, learning about the new items that are out there in the landscape world and just in the home design and repair, come check out our committee. We'd love to see you. We'd love to give you plenty of something to do, give back to our community. That's it.
Thanks, Steve. Lori's not here from communications, so we'll go to Colin, community planning and transition.
Hi, Colin Taylor, CP&T. Okay, we finally got the Breckenridge dog off-leash area has cleared all the hurdles, and the proposal is going to the board. I guess you didn't have it this morning. You'll have it by January. And it's at no cost to the HOA, so I would assume it will get passed. Just to remind people, this is Breckenridge, is the dog park. There's parking at the courts. There's no parking on Breckenridge, but there is parking on this side street. But I think a lot of dog owners will actually walk there. Next, this is to give you an idea of the size. It's 300 feet wide, an area for small dogs, an area for large dogs, between 30 and 40 feet wide, and a double gate, like an airlock gates here for security. This is the view looking down Breckenridge. So it's not exactly flat, but it's not bad. And it'll be fenced area here with the gates off the sidewalk here. Next. This is the kind of fencing we're going to have, so it will look really nice. So I think it will be a real plus for the community. Okay, next. Okay, another view of that fencing. No, I heard that. There's wire mesh here. So that's to stop critters from getting in and little dogs from getting out. So it looks nice, but it's very functional as well. Next. Oh, I had another chart that just said, our next meeting is next Thursday, 9 o'clock, Rec Centre North. Anyone welcome. Thank you.
Thanks, Colin. Next is EBC.
It's a beautiful day in Four Seasons, everyone. Let's take a deep breath and be thankful that we're here. Our next meeting is next Tuesday at the RCN at 10 o'clock in the morning. We'll be discussing the SE power outage. That's kind of come to the forefront a little more almost than the fires, because now with all the rain, hopefully that's the rain and the snow has helped mitigate the fire problem, so hopefully that won't have to be revisited until next summer. Also, part of the problem that we had with notifications is some people got notified and others didn't, so we're going to try to review, make sure everybody's got all the proper places to get their notifications from, whether it be the city, the police department, the county EMD, whatever, so you all have them. And then supposedly there's two different, if you have a landline, you're automatically they can get you. But if you don't have a landline, you actually literally have to sign up to get your cell phone registered. So do that if you haven't. One of the people that I come in contact with, I don't know if Lynn knows him, it's Mario Jennison. He's the handicapped liaison. You know, he pushes for handicapped issues. He had problems during an SE blackout, and he mentioned batteries. And he mentioned a battery from Yeti company that it's a costly battery. It's almost $2,000. But he says it lasted him for 3 days. It lasted Chuck for 3 days, and he kept his food cold, and it kept him from ruining his refrigerated food. His daughter didn't have one, so his daughter lived around the corner and was coming back to his house to try to keep her food cold. And then, as usual, we're going to get together with the preparedness committee and talk about new members and plans for the next year. Anyway, anyone want to join us, like I said, 10 a.m. next Tuesday in the RCM. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thanks, Mike.
Have a happy holiday.
Thanks, Mike. Next is facilities, Bruce.
Good afternoon. The Facilities Committee has received a survey report from AWS consultants, and vendors are currently submitting the bids. They've been a little behind just because of the rain situation, but hopefully we're going to have those shortly. And as soon as we get the bids, we'll be calling a special meeting to try and speed up this process. Also in regards to one of our residents who mentioned about who kind of checks on things in regards to the roof, AWS consultants will be monitoring whoever the contractor is that we elect to do the roof and go through the process and make sure that everything is done under the standards and specifications that the community wants. Also, the conversion of the pickleball lights to LED lighting has been reviewed, and a vendor has been selected by our committee. The proposal will be submitted to the finance company this month. There will be substantial cost savings in maintenance and our electrical cost as with the other LED projects that we've instituted here. The facility committee meets on the second Wednesday of the month at 10 a.m. and we do have several positions open for residents interested in serving our committee. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bruce. Next is Finance Committee. Gary.
Good afternoon, everyone. Excuse my voice, but I swallowed a frog somewhere yesterday. You'll notice my report's a little different this time. There aren't any financial numbers, and there's an easy explanation and a justifiable one. There's been a merger in the financial systems between First Service and Euclid, coming in with one common financial system, and they've had a little bit of difficulty merging this into the same system so it would talk. We don't have any financials for October, and we're waiting for them. And rather than getting something that's wrong and then we'd have to go and revise it, we're waiting. We hope to have something by Thursday the 19th when our next meeting is to be able to get started. But there's no alarm, we're not hiding anything under the carpet here. It's just a systems issue, and when they get it through, we'll have those financials. Second, we will be publishing an article to review the complexity of the budget process, because people always wonder, how do you get a budget process? Do you just go in there and look at the numbers and just add another percent amount? And we don't do that. We look at things at the end to see if it's a reasonable test, and that's what we're going to try to explain both in the two parts to the budget. One, the operational costs and how they go up, and as much information as we can find out about those cost increases for the next year and the trends. And also, how we need to adjust and tweak the capital reserve fund based on changes that come up in the yearly updates. I do have a comment about our free dog park. If you could come to our meeting and give us some idea of the ongoing operational costs and capital reserve costs that we need to include in our findings. And lastly, an issue that we have is we are one member short, but the bigger issue is all of my members come up for approval coming this January. They'll all have at least 2 years, and 2 of us are on our 1-year extension, so we ask the board to make a decision, or otherwise there may not be a finance committee. Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Thanks, Barry. Next is the Landscape Committee. Lynette.
Well, as you can see, I've sent a letter to Santa for some new committee members, and this is a bit of your job description. I did leave off a couple of things. It is December, and it is winter. There's snow on the mountains and warm sunshine in a lot of places. But I'm reminded that our HOA landscapers have the irrigation schedules reduced quite considerably because we are getting moisture. And I would recommend those homeowners who sprinkle and irrigate their yards throughout the year might consider reducing or turning their own irrigation off. It's just, plants aren't growing and they're not going to suffer because there will be water coming. And yeah, we're looking for people, and we decided to have a Christmas break, so our landscape meeting, next meeting will be January 14. And wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and lots of greenery.
Thank you, Lynette. Anita's not here for the safety committee. Oh, her, Kathy.
Hi, I'm Kathy Craven, and I'm going to cover this short slide for Anita. Basically, our next meeting is January, the first Tuesday? The 7th. It should be January the 7th, and it'll be in the RCN room. And we welcome everybody to come. We've had some good turnouts where people have come and talked about things that they're interested in seeing us do with the community, as well as things that we have done, both positive and negative things to share with us so that we can work on that going forward next year. So we look forward to everybody coming. It's actually the 7th of January, so it's the first Tuesday of the month. Thank you.
Thanks, Kathy. Next is the social committee. Loretta.
Good afternoon. Our next event is New Year's Eve. Who's ready for that? Definitely, we're gearing up for that. Rock and Roll reunion tickets go on sale January 13th. It's a impersonator show, dance with Little Richard, Jerry Lee Lewis, Buddy Holly, and all that good stuff. And you can come dressed up if you'd like. One thing I'd really like to kind of talk about is we had an incident with scalping for New Year's Eve tickets. So we have asked the board basically in writing to support this matter. And our next meeting is January 7th. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is the technical operations board.
Hi, Barry Goldstein, Technical Operation of the Schools. We don't have regular meetings. We only meet when we have an event to mix here. But January 16th, our audio video lighting consultant will be here for the day. We'll be looking at what it's going to take to add additional lighting. We've had a lot of requests for additional lighting, reviewing the audio system, doing any quick tweaks and tunes we can, and recommendations what we can do to improve it. And I think that's about it coming from technical committee. We'll also be kind of looking at the network and seeing how the Wi-Fi system is here. So if there's any ways we can improve the speed of the Wi-Fi system, there will be a complete report afterwards on all the findings. If anybody would like to meet, we're going to have like a 3:30 to 5 o'clock powwow with Dan to update anybody on any questions they may have before he goes and writes the report. Thank you.
Thanks, Barry. Community ambassador.
Just wanted to remind everybody that we have the Chips for Kids program going, and she asked that all of you be as generous as you have been in past years. Thank you.
Thanks, Barry. Next is the activities director.
Yeah. Anybody want to hear something?
You wish for a change from the last time?
Yeah, I know, I got it. Reindeer, and at least I've got the same colors on or something, right? Okay, so for anybody that hasn't heard, this is going to really be the last time for Terry Pierce to have his holiday home tour. So if you have not been fortunate enough to go over there and check out that house, it is like Disneyland without the lines. It is Christmas on steroids, and it is really tastefully and wonderfully done. The other thing that's beautiful about it is that there is a $5 admittance fee, and all that money goes to feed the homeless during the holidays through Carol's Kitchen. So they keep none of it, but it's just a really neat gesture, and you really get a fun time doing it. The dates for that are Friday, December 20th from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. and then again Saturday, December 21st from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So pretty neat. There will be maps available in the lodge on both of those days, and we're hoping to get some maps in the rack too, so you can go in there and check it out. Pretty neat. Also, something to put down on your calendar, if you are a leader in the club, group, or class system here, then we are looking to do a town hall meeting, actually. A little mini town hall meeting for club, group, and class leaders on Tuesday, January 14th at 6 p.m. We're going to go over the new club and class rules and have everybody sign new forms with the most current information so that we can hand out the most accurate information at our club fair in the ballroom on Saturday, January 18th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And all that is pending the approval in just a few minutes for that club fair. You also, if you're a leader and you can't make it on that day, please feel free to send a representative, totally fine. That'll be great. Then, club, group, and classes, we have the Community Hanukkah Party and Comedy Show, which is going to be taking place in the Lodge Ballroom at 5 p.m. Tickets are $7 and can be purchased by Nancy Justice. Her number's available out at the lodge, but guess what? They're also going to be selling tickets on Sunday. So I think they'll have a table up front. So if you want to do that, it's $7. And they're going to be doing wine tasting, festive foods, and a great comedy show. So that's going to be a fun experience. Everybody's invited to that. And then karaoke this month is going to be held in the Lodge Ballroom on Saturday, December 21st at 5:30 p.m. And everybody's welcome to do that. And everyone else knows that pretty much every day, every single facility is having parties until a little bit into January. So that's how many parties we are packing. So this is an active adult community, and we are active partying. So check with your leader on when those parties are going to be, and have an absolutely great holiday. I also want to address the board in the fact that I have my annual calendar in there, right, with all the activities. And I just wanted to specify that you're more or less voting for the event, right, allowing the event to happen, rather than the specific day, because we've already had 2 changes in the last 2 days of dates, okay? Just so you know. All right, any questions? Why am I so short this month? Mark it down to the
Christmas gift.
Yeah, mark it down to
Thanks, Cindy. All right, next is the management report. On pages 103 through 120 are the management updates and activity log. There's no action, let's call it out. And then on pages 121 through 134 are correspondence. Again, no action unless. So we'll move on to new business. First item is on page 135. So the builder has donated quite a few items recently after they closed out their sales office. We've got new furniture at RCN. We've got a huge topographical map that they were just going to toss in the dump. And we're like, no, stop. That is fantastic. It shows it was up in the sales office. So if you've ever been up there, do we have a picture? We do not have a picture, but we had a picture on the daily report. Shows all the homes, shows the different facilities, shows the windmill, shows the creek. But we don't have room for it here. So the Beaumont Historical Society has, or will accept it, but we need to send this letter specifying the conditions of that acceptance, that if they ever don't have room for it, that we have the option to get it back, and then we'll find another spot for it somewhere. So this would be to approve sending this letter to the Beaumont Historical Society and donating it to them at this time.
I'll make a motion to approve that we send a letter to the Beaumont Historical Society approving the transfer of the topographical maps to them for their use.
Second. It's been moved and seconded to approve sending our topographical map board to the Beaumont Historical Society. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next on page 136 is the proposed holiday hours for 2020. Sounds weird saying that, but it's for 2020. So it goes from Easter through New Year's Day of 20, it's 2021. And this is in line with what has happened as far as holiday hours for the last 2 years.
I make a motion to approve the holiday hours for the year 2020.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the holiday hours and annual event calendar for 2020. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next on page 137 is Cindy's annual event calendar for 2020.
We don't have the whole thing, we only have part of it.
Sorry about that. I can't print it right here.
This is the same that was on the
daily report.
on the daily report?
Yes.
Okay.
Make a motion to accept our activity director's event calendar for year 2020.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the annual event calendar for the year 2020. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. And then next is the handout that I distributed earlier today, or this afternoon. This revises the election rules based on new California Civil Code. It's to your left. Looks like that. There you go. It revises our election rules to correspond with the new civil code changes. California passed a new law that takes effect January 1st, 2020 that removes some of the things that could be part of our rules. This would put us in compliance with California law. It would go out for 28-day homeowner comment.
This places us in conformance with all the changes that have come out of Sacramento.
Yes.
How does this affect the vote that went out about a year ago for the delegates and all the other stuff that we're going to be opening up on Saturday?
So if delegates are removed, this would have to be revised, and if cumulative voting would have to be revised as well.
So this includes having delegates like we have them right now?
Yes.
So why would we approve this? Why would we approve this now if we're still waiting for changes, the delegate changes?
Well, this is a new law where we have to conform to this. We don't have to-
This is set up, this is only the delegate part of the law.
So if the vote does take out delegates and cumulative voting, there's still provisions in here as far as, the association may not deny a ballot to any person who's a member. So there's still provisions in this document or these revised rules that need to go into effect, regardless of whether there's district delegates and cumulative voting.
And then if the
Wouldn't
votes...
it make sense, since you're going to be opening up those ballots shortly, to wait until that and then change this and then just vote on it once rather than in pieces?
Yes, we could do that. I would advise that we might need to hold a special open board meeting just to go over that, then be sent out for a homeowner comment
Before the end of the year.
before the end of the year.
That would make sense, because we will have to do that anyway if the vote changes.
Yes.
But I guess if we approve this today and the vote doesn't change it,
then we don't have to come back again.
Correct. So it could be, you could approve it on the condition that that the vote fails.
I mean, I hope that the vote.
Oh, yes.
But yes, then we are covered and we wouldn't have to come back. But if it does change it, we could come back.
Yes.
I make a motion that we accept this as it stands for the delegate voting and propose that if we need to make further changes, we will.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the changes as they are on here. And if need arises to make further changes, we'll do it at a later meeting. Any further discussion? If the vote on Saturday results change this, is there any reason why we have to vote on it immediately or can't wait until the January meeting? Since we won't be holding any votes until April.
But based on the annual election day and the timeline that the new law dictates.
When is the annual election day?
Scheduled right now for April 30th.
Yeah, so we don't have to have another meeting in December if the results are what we hope they are.
I will confirm with in the timeline and the calendar and the civil code section for that.
Okay. The vote, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next to unfinished business on pages 138 and 139 are revised event guidelines from the social committee.
I would like to, at this time, make a motion to table this new rule until there are some things that are unclear in here that I think it has to go back to social committee to clear up before we do it.
I reviewed that with him. I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded to delay the vote on the social committee events until a subsequent meeting. We shall have no wine before it's time, I guess.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. And then on pages 143 through 163 is a revised proposal from the safety committee for trip hazards in phases C and D. Total cost for this is $2,374.54.
I'll make a motion that we approve $2,374.54 to get working on the trip hazards that have been identified.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the request for contracting with Precision Concrete Cutting for a cost of $2,374.54 to reduce the trip hazard that we have on our sidewalks. Any discussion?
Yeah, I have a question. We got 3 bids. The bid that we're choosing selects 15 locations and then 18 additional locations. The other 2 bids only have 17 locations. Why the difference? Why don't all 3 bids have 33 locations? Because we're doing apples and oranges here.
Yeah, so we gave the contractors the same locations. I believe one didn't feel that they were a trip hazard. But I could research that with Mr. Rosencrantz and follow up with you, or follow up with the board.
Not that anything would change it. If the feeling is that we have all 33 that need changing, from looking at the other bids, I don't imagine that the other 2 are not going to come in line with the one we're selecting, number 1. But still, I don't know why the other 2 guys are different.
Yeah.
I'd have to research that and get back to the board.
I know the ones that was identified by Precision were 33 that they felt were significant and dangerous.
The other contractor may not have felt one was as dangerous, maybe.
Pardon me?
I said, so we're indicating that maybe one of the other contractors that looked at it didn't feel like an additional one was as dangerous.
Right.
So the decision as to what's dangerous or not is left in the hands of the,
Safety committee.
well,
And
then the safety
people.
committee should be consistent with all three of these, not the bidder. The bidder should not be deciding what's dangerous or not.
Well,
The
I
safety
think we
committee.
gave a specific size, and our people went out and looked at them. I think Eric was out and looked at each of the 33, not Eric, this Eric, but sick Eric. And basically, they felt that they were, needed to be replaced, and there was no real need to wait until into the next year. We don't want people falling down on the sidewalks.
Oh, I agree. We want to take care of what's needed to be taken care of immediately. The only thing, based on what you're saying, I can get from this is 17 locations were deemed to be high enough to take immediate action, and these other 18, whatever that Precision is bidding on, they feel is not as high or is not as bad as the others, and so these other two guys didn't bid on them.
I don't know what made them do that, but I do know that the ones that are outlined here are significant safety hazards.
Because the ones on the list, they don't have all 33 on this list that Precision is bidding on. This list that I have here, yeah, they're only showing 17 locations. And I'm not saying, you know, we shouldn't fix all 33, but I just don't know why two of them are only bidding approximately half of what Precision is bidding. And if it's necessary to do all of them, let's do it. If it's not, then maybe we ought to look at it again.
I'd have to research it.
Are these full revised bids based on the board's request last time to eliminate areas that we had signed for yet?
Yes, it was removing the areas in Phase E.
So are these all new bids for that? Or is it just, because this was brought up last month, and it was more paid than we were responsible?
No, total. That's the total.
So, yeah, they're not, they're just removing those Phase E sections.
And the other thing too, when you look at this precision cutting technique that Precision is bidding on, they're talking about cutting something which cuts off the part that's sticking up. And I would imagine that that's sort of based on how high up it is. If it's small little rises in the concrete, I don't know how it's able to do that. But again, it's not clear what's happening and why. And again, for the safety thing, we shouldn't be holding things up. We ought to do them quickly. I just don't understand what's happening.
Eric, it says that they're going to actually remove the hazard. Are they going to remove it or just grind it down to where it's even?
I think when they're saying they're going to remove it, they're going to cut it. And
They're going to grind it down.
They don't grind, they cut.
Cut it out. They slice it out.
I think if we look at the numbers on this particular page,
That's what I'm looking at.
you can see that this bidder, Precision Concrete Cutting, is quite a bit cheaper.
Oh, they are. I'm saying they look cheaper than the other guys.
Yeah, so I don't know if they did 15 locations initially, then they did 18 additional ones, as if they were asked to go back and do something, but they didn't bother to ask the other two contractors to go back since they were already over the price. But that's a supposition on my part.
All right, maybe the best and most expeditious thing to do, since they are that much cheaper, the one guy just to do 17 locations is $2,800. The other one to do 17 locations is about $2,000. So to have 33 done for $2,300 certainly is cost effective if those are necessary to do. So maybe just go ahead with it.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. So the next meeting will be in the new year, January 9th, 2020, 1 p.m. here in Beaumont. Because that's a typo. It'll be here.
Type.
Is there a motion?
Motion to close the meeting?
Second? Second. Moving second to adjourn the meeting, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion